Here we are in the barren wilderness of mid-Iowa, about ready to survive the night with nothing but a clothes on our back and a rifle.
It's getting dark. We need a shelter right now, or we'll never last the night.
Scott, I just don't know where to survive. I mean, I see all these twigs and trees, but how are we going to make a shelter out of that?
We'll find a way. We'll find a way.
Right there.
That's the perfect shelter spot.
It's perfect.
That's the one. Put a pool in right there. I'm seeing a tire swing over there.
You know what? I was thinking that exact same thing. You know what? We have to think about the 3 basic survival necessaries. Alright? You got food, shelter, and luxuries.
Absolutely. If you're not comfortable, you're not going to survive.
Absolutely. Now, besides our rifle here, we have a couple other necessary survival tools. Plastic. Excellent for surviving. You can make shelters out of this, drape it over stuff, you can sleep on it, you can start fires with it, anything you want. What else? Fires, steer wool. Now, somebody might think that this is enough to start a fire. Wrong! You need this entire package. You know, we're actually just being kind of fancy by building the shelter because, in all reality, what you need is just a big fire. If you have a big fire, you really don't need a shelter because you're going to be warm anyways.
The first step in building a shelter is to clear out all the brush and sticks and stuff like that you're going to be sleeping on. You don't want a stick poking into your back in the middle of the night. Remember, luxury is one of the 3 keys to survival.
This is looking real nice. What next?
Well, next you're going to have to brainstorm. Now, you don't have your CAD drawing tool, but you're going to have to kind of think of a general schematic for your shelter.
Now personally, the kind of shelter I like and the way that's most proven efficient by many wilderness survival people is, you know, the bigger the better. Now, the bigger space you have to insulate, the warmer you're going to be, okay?
Need some supplies.
Oh, my socks? Yeah. Actually, if you really want to, you don't even need shoes to survive in the wilderness. Over time, if you wear socks often enough, the mitochondria in your feet will build up more energy, and they will expend more energy as your feet get cold, and they will get used to that, so they will naturally produce more heat. We are now starting to make some progress on our shelter. It's getting near dark. As you can see, the sun is starting to set. And we are not even done with our first necessity, which is shelter, so we're going to start hurrying up here. We still have to find food and luxuries. It's going to be a little cramped tonight, but, you know, that's nothing that we can't deal. And Scott here will be sleeping this way, and I will be sleeping in the same orientation, like so. One thing that's nice about this shelter is that the entrance is facing north. Now, this is important because in the wilderness, it can get very disorientating very fast, and if you can find your shelter, you can know which way you're going.
I'm going to talk a little bit about why we chose this specific site here. Now, the first thing is because it is right next to a tree here. Trees are stable things you can build off of. You know they're not going to fall down in like a heavy wind or a rainstorm or something like that. Also, these branches here coming down, protecting our western flank. So we already had part of our work cut out for us. Another reason, it's on fairly high ground. There's a runoff right next to us, which means the water is going to go down in there, not where we are. And finally, it just seemed like a pretty luxurious spot, so we're hoping to cut out one of our points of survival. As you can see, our shelter is coming along quite nicely. Good thing too, since it's almost dark. What we've done here is put some pine boughs along the walls to help keep out the water. And along the floor, we've insulated it with some dried grass. With a wool blanket on top, this will keep us quite warm from the cold ground that's frozen below us.
Here's a survival technique that been around since the invention of the space blanket. Now, what's going to happen here, this is a technique used to be able to keep warm when it's really cold outside like it is going to be tonight. We're going to have a fire right here in front of our entrance to our little shelter here. Now, come on over here. As you can see, this isn't very good right now, but we're going to get it good because we only have like 2 minutes sunlight left here. This is the space blanket right here. And when we have the fire sitting right here in front of the door, all the heat from the fire is going to come up against the space blanket and reflect it down onto us. See, it's kind of at an angle down to us here. And in this little plastic raincoat, I think is what it is, going to be draped right across here like that. And it's going to actually contain all the heat in here. Well, this is our shelter. It's kind of hard to see in the dark, but it's got a little ventilation shaft right up there. Yep. There you see it. Nice little ventilation shaft up there, which is very important in these kind of shelters because it gets really hot sometimes, especially with the setup that we have. And I think Scott and I are both pretty happy about this shelter. And look forward to sleeping in this tonight. Well, we made a new one. Yeah, we were just like laying in our shelter and we realized that over half the ceiling was sky and the night had already fallen and we just decided to take it down, which is really unfortunate because you should never have to build shelters in the dark unless it's absolutely necessary, but kind of wasn't our case if we wanted to survive. So we built this here, same concept, you're not going to be able to see it. We'll get a shot in the morning. Well, it took us a while, but finally got it going. Used steel wool and 9-volt method after the flint and steel method failed us. Took us probably a good 10-15 minutes to get this going, but sure feels good now. Time to get out of the shelter. Oh, it's probably gonna be freezing out there. It's so warm in here, though. Oh, I don't want to get out. Should stay here all day. What does the thermometer read? Looks like about 55 degrees. 55 degrees. 55 degrees warmed up in here. It's steaming in here. Okay. Well. Oh boy, it's chilly out, all right. That was a good shelter. So what we got going on here, because you couldn't see it last night because of the dark, is the same kind of principle. We have this beam going all the way down with the tarp covering our rear side and this lower front part here. Across here we have clear plastic bags so that the energy from our fire come in, reflect off of this, which was where I completely wrecked this, tied up against the wall here and reflected down on us, allowing us to obtain a balmy 55 degrees inside our shelter. Pretty nice.